Hello. Okay, so I didn't expect the Periscope comments to show as well. That's pretty awesome. I kind of unplanned. Hello, sexy Italian Rose. By the way, yeah, I saw that the Nina video, sexy Italian Rose, and very very interesting. Very very interesting. I retweeted it, even though my account is suspended. So hey, hello, Livendi. So sexy Italian Rose, that we can talk in Brax and don't need to discuss that in the open here. Hello, Justin B. Hello, guys. So hello, GM. Hello, Enlighten Up. Hello. Who did I miss here? TR Fun Guy. Uh, who else did I miss? Everyone. Hi, in my other. Okay, let me just switch to YouTube on this account here. I'm connected from Ecuador. I'm looking for Waldo. Really? You're always traveling around, Van. Very strange places. Okay, so anyway, there's so much going on. There's so much going on that I'm gonna have to, that's why I had to squeeze in this broadcast here tonight. There's so much going on from all places, and oh, I see what's happening here. Okay, so there's a duplicate stream from Periscope versus Hello Diane Stone, and okay, so I guess I can hide one. Okay, there's a duplicate stream there from YouTube and YouTube. What do you prefer? I prefer that you watch it on YouTube if need be. Let me just tell you something about before I start here. I'm trying to get to a certain level at YouTube so that I progress to the next stage, and I'm happy to announce that I'm gonna reach 4K, 4,000 hours of watch time, either tonight or early tomorrow. So I'm right there. I'm, as of last night, I was only 60 hours away or something. So, and like a broadcast is usually 50 hours. So we're gonna be in there. So that means I'm gonna be at 4,000 hours. Now, what that means, have no sucking idea, guys. So, but it's kind of nice to know that hit the next milestone here. Doing this for 3 months. So I've been doing this for about exactly 3 months since I posted my first video on YouTube, and that's pretty good for 3 months. That's not bad. But I'm not the. Yes, I'm on YouTube. Yes, I'm on YouTube right this moment. I'm watching on Rocky. You're in Technizucking color. Okay. So yes. So if you watch on YouTube, I get those watch hours. So I don't get many viewers now from Periscope. From what? Roku, not Rocky. Yeah, I can see comments from YouTube just as well here. So you just don't see each other's comments. Puzzles, which was when they drag him out. Anyone know? So anyway, just side stuff before we talk about Julian Assange, which is the main topic tonight. Because it happened in the news today. We've been waiting for this for months, and it only happened today. So Julian Assange was in fact arrested today. They let him. They were allowed in the embassy, and they officially would remove the asylum coverage. And so the ambassador invited the Metropolitan Police of London, I guess, to come in and took him out. And they took him out holding a Gore Vidal book, and he was like saying something. I didn't hear what he was saying, but he was saying something. Somebody can tell me what he was saying. I haven't caught that. So anyway, we'll get into that in a moment. We'll get into that in a month. There's Sexy Italian Rose now on YouTube. Okay, looked like so bad it was so sad. He looked. He was. He looked. Yeah, he looked pretty beat up in there, and with beard and everything, and he just like he looks like an old man, and he's only like 47. Hello, Girl Rush fan. He's only 47, and he looked pretty old. So he said he needed to feed his goldfish. Is that what he said? Really? Paler than normal, and his blonde hair became white, or what? What's the story? Uh, Hello, Girl Rush fan. How are you, Girl Rush fan? Good to see you again. Forgot about me already. Frail. Night eyes. So, before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little story here. I'm going to tell you a little story just to explaining. Yes, he's only 47. I have been suspended on Twitter. My account, Rob Braxman Tech, has been suspended on Twitter. Okay, now that has no connection with my Periscope account. My Periscope account is not tied to Twitter, so there's no connection here. So I can do this all day, obviously. I will explain tomorrow, but street creds, yes. I wish it was for something I did. I wish I did like hate speech or something, but I didn't do anything. So anyway, I will talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow's scope. So I'm not going to talk about it today because I want to talk about Assange today. But what I'd like to ask of you is if you would please follow my secondary account there, which is Brax_me. Okay, it's Brax_me. At Brax_me is the handle to my Periscope. To my the company Twitter account, which I can see and can control. So Rob the hater, yes, all the hate speech, yes. But maybe Zuck said too much hate speech from this guy. So they probably said, let's ban this guy. So anyway, this is not as dramatic as it seems, but I just want to wait to see what happens tomorrow. So please don't forget to subscribe to follow my other Twitter account. I have several Twitter accounts, which are all legit. There's Rob Braxman account, which I don't use. And then there's the Brax_me account, which a lot of you are on, and then my normal account, which has almost 7,000 followers. Actually, it was past 7,000 before, and then they skimmed some out. So anyway, that's so. Please, I'm suspended on Twitter. Suspended on Twitter. I'm not banned. I'm suspended on Twitter, and I don't know why they take so long. I don't know why they take so long to go, fix this. It's like so screwed up. So anyway, I'll explain what I know tomorrow. And they really they sent me one message, and it's all kind of vague. So well. So I want to. It's called Brax_me on Brax_me is the account, Brax_me on YouTube, and then I'm obviously Rob Braxman Tech on YouTube. So sorry, on Twitter, Brax_me on Twitter, Rob Braxman Tech on YouTube. So make sure you follow those accounts. I don't want to lose touch with people because of trying to get street creds here for getting banned. This is the first time I've ever gotten suspended. So never been suspended anywhere, and this is not even a suspension of any significance other than this looks like a foobar thing. Okay, so nothing. There's nothing insidious happening. There's no drama really, but I'd like to talk about it tomorrow because it's connected to what I was doing. So, what's the name of your Zuckbook page? My Zuckbook page is somebody put my face on there. It's someone blocked you once. Who blocked you once? somebody. There's some. I discovered when I was checking out my account, I found out that some people blocked me, and I was like, "What the suck is this?" I mean, what? Who would block me? Anyway, some of it's just weird. Some people are just so weird. Did they give a reason? Well, the tech support, yeah, the machine gave a reason, but the tech support has not acknowledged that reason. So I need an acknowledgement of the actual reason because I know when it exactly happened. So it was tied to my testing. I was testing something, and I guess the automated system didn't like the zucking testing and said, "Zuck you," and zucked me up. And and there's no way to, undo this. So I don't know. So I got to wait and see how long it takes them to, handle this. They said it takes days, plural. So it's 2 days. And so far, no feedback. I got a letter response and then no feedback. So it may take a while to unzuck. Maybe, Girl Rush fan. Maybe. So make sure, Girl Rush fan, make sure you follow that Brax_me account. Make sure you follow that, subscribe to that YouTube account. Okay, tomorrow's Friday. So anyway, thank you for sticking through all that, overhead discussion there. Because it's such a busy time here, so many things going on, and I'm overwhelmed here with the activity. Anyway, I didn't want to let this pass because it's news today, and that's Assange getting arrested. Now, let me just say this. I've been around, talking about Assange for 4 years since I've been on Periscope here. And I was talking about it 4 years ago, and I was talking about Snowden and all that, and the way the sides are and how politics has gotten into the Snowden and mostly Assange story. It's very interesting because it was completely different 4 years ago, completely different, and then it switched around. So right now, the Assange incident is tainted with zucking politics, which is, to me, is just completely irritating. Let me get rid of the echo there. So it's completely irritating to me because don't really care about the zucking politics. Don't really care about the zucking politics. Some of you are so politically polarized with this that you only look at this through the lens of politics. And I need tonight to talk about this, not in the lens of politics. If you're going to talk like Schumer, okay, and talk about it to the zucking lens of politics, then I'm going to say you're a zucking hypocrite. Okay? The people who talk about this in the light of politics are zucking hypocrites because 4 years ago it was the zucking reverse. 4 years ago, people were complaining about Assange from the right. 4 years ago, it was the right complaining about Assange. The whole thing in Iraq, the war in Iraq, that was from the Chelsea Manning thing. That was the first thing that was released on WikiLeaks way back then. Chelsea Manning, okay? And back then, the anger was towards from the right to Assange because he released things that embarrassed the hawks in Congress. Okay, hello, Bobber. Make sure you follow my Twitter Brax_me account since my other one is suspended. Make sure you guys follow my Brax_me Twitter account while the other one is in suspension. Okay? So anyway, Twitter support is non-existent. Was it with their API? It's an automated thing there, Justin. So anyway, we'll talk about tomorrow. We'll skip that discussion for today. Tomorrow we'll discuss why I got suspended, because I want to talk about Assange today. So I just don't want to hear about the he colluded with Russia and all that nonsense that's going to be said, because I don't want to hear that. This not about that, okay? This is not about that, because the story changed. Depending on what is released, people change their minds, because if you don't like what's released, you take the opposite side. If you like what's released, you start to support. The right-wing people did support Assange 4 years ago, and suddenly they're saying, it's Assange guy, it's pretty cool. See what I mean? Politics, it goes both ways. So I'm saying, suck you all left and right. This is not about that. This is not about that. Okay? WikiLeaks in general has a very specific purpose. And just like there's a Fourth Amendment, you know what the Fourth Amendment is for, in case you don't remember what the Fourth Amendment is. Or the Second Amendment, they're kind of similar in two different ways. The Fourth Amendment prevents abuse of power by saying, I'm going to just go invade your house and go take evidence at my leisure. Okay? It prevents somebody from just opening up your car and saying, I'm going to look in your trunk. It prevents somebody from going to your computer and say, we're the police. We're going to just go look at your computer right now and check out everything on there because we feel like it. The purpose of the Fourth Amendment is to prevent abuse of power. The purpose of the Second Amendment is also to prevent abuse of power militarily. Okay? Because it empowers the militia. It empowers a population that can't be controlled by a regime. Okay? So that's the purpose of that. The purpose of WikiLeaks is very defined as well, because we need this. The governments, corporations, any big organization has secrets. They have secrets. And the secrets are not known to us, ordinary people. The secrets are not known. Tyrannical government, there's the word I was looking for. The WikiLeaks is about saying people abuse their power by keeping secrets from us. They do things without letting us know. And the purpose of a WikiLeaks or a WikiLeaks type organization is to allow whistleblowers to tell us those secrets that is good for the average person. It's not good for people in Congress. It's not good for the president. It's not good for the leaders of the countries of whatever country is revealing data about, but it's good for the people. Okay? It's good for us. We need to know. It may be an embarrassment for the government, but we as voters need to know what the fuck they're hiding. That's what WikiLeaks is good for. Now, do I like what is revealed? No, not necessarily. I don't necessarily like what's revealed. Okay, but when Snowden revealed that the extent of spying, of mass surveillance being done by our own government, no one had any idea. Well, I had an idea, but not defined. I would be called a conspiracy theorist if I said what Snowden was talking about with the NSA. I would be considered a conspiracy theorist. Now, because Snowden came out, I'm no longer considered a conspiracy theorist when I talk about mass surveillance, because it's now fact. No one's disputed it. Not even the three-letter agencies have disputed what Snowden has put on. Yes, I would have been an Alex Jones had had Snowden not been here. Okay. Then I found out through WikiLeaks how the CIA has now created a duplicate organization with the NSA, and that was released in the WikiLeaks Vault 7 CIA leak of 2017, I think. Was it 2017? I forget now. So that CIA leak in 2017 told us that the CIA is now also now in the surveillance business and have basically duplicated what's being done in the NSA. And that's very important information for me. I mean, why is my government doing this internally? Why don't they focus their attention to external parties? Why are they focused on us? So then they abuse us with these things that really take away from the Fourth Amendment. Hello, Jane. So the purpose of all of these little tricks that are done by government is to circumvent the Fourth Amendment, meaning get a zucking warrant. That's what the Fourth Amendment is. Get a zucking warrant. Don't just give power to some law enforcement guy to just do what they want. They have to go to a judge. The judge will decide. There's a check and balance to make sure they don't abuse their power in collecting evidence and so on. Hello, Jane. Jane, so my Twitter was suspended, so I hope you remember to all follow my other Twitter account, BraxMe. Nope, wrong. No Fourth Amendment issue here. What the fuck are you talking about? So, okay, anyway, so the issue that I'm talking about here is how it is helpful. I don't know what you're asking, Boycott Box. I'm so confused now. Let me just continue what I'm saying because the reactions are kind of delayed here. Okay, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe if you clarify what the question is. I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff Crichton, because you just interrupted and you just talk about I don't know what you're talking about. And you just intersperse a comment and I don't know what you're saying. And now I don't know where we are. Okay, back to what I'm saying, okay? So that's the purpose of a WikiLeaks. The purpose of a WikiLeaks is a place for secrets to go to be revealed by whistleblowers. Okay. So WikiLeaks has a purpose. The question now is, do you like Julian Assange? Do you like Julian Assange? Those of you politically minded, if you're on today, this is why this is so as far as I'm concerned, disingenuous, because today, if you're on the left, you're going to say you hate Assange. Jeff, I already explained, and now I'm good. You asked me, why don't you go do the replay? Then you can see what I'm going to go through this again, okay? Okay, now I remember what I'm saying because Jeff confused me here. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is the purpose of surveillance by government is to overcome the Fourth Amendment. Mrs. V. Okay, you clear on that, Jeff? The purpose of mass surveillance, you can skip the Fourth Amendment. If you can go take information without a warrant, you're skipping the Fourth Amendment. You don't need the Fourth Amendment. Because you can collect all the information you want, and there's no check and balance. Okay, that's what that is. What happened was WikiLeaks revealed certain details. For example, Snowden revealed the NSA mass surveillance, which is, again, an attempt to circumvent the Fourth Amendment. And then the CIA revealed the CIA leaks Vault 7, which was on WikiLeaks, that revealed that the CIA is duplicating the same thing that the NSA is doing. Now, these are tools not being used against foreigners. This is why this is so aggravating. Okay? This is used against U.S. citizens with Fourth Amendment rights. Okay? So the purpose of the Fourth Amendment is to prevent abuse, and they're abusing it. And it was Snowden and WikiLeaks that revealed that there was abuse. Without these ways of knowing, we would not have known that. We would not have known that we're being abused. Okay? Are we clear on that now? Right? Now, FISA is another channel of abuse. FISA, which is in another scope. That's another channel of abuse. You're being abused so many different ways, Another one is called Rule 41, which is saying we'll abuse by saying if you're using encryption, that's enough for us to say we will circumvent the need for a warrant or the proper warrant. We'll issue a special warrant, global warrant. No, Jeff, I haven't gotten to that. I haven't got to that. I will get to that. It's a big issue here. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is the value of a WikiLeaks, the value of a Snowden, and why this is important to us, regardless of your feelings about the Zucking individual. Okay? Regardless of your feelings, I don't have any, personal attachment to Assange himself as a person. However, I look at what's been done and I say, we need something like WikiLeaks, regardless of Assange himself personally. Okay? Now, Assange is a little bit different. He's not an American, so he doesn't have any loyalties to the country. Snowden, however, I believe is a hero. Snowden did it because he felt that American citizens were being surveilled and we were being deprived of our Fourth Amendment rights by the mass surveillance. So Snowden is in my mind was a patriot. He was actually doing it for us. Now Assange is not doing it for us. He's just doing it because it's WikiLeaks. Okay? Because he does it to anyone. It is not true when you say, well, he's Russian, this and that. Because you're not watching what he's putting out on WikiLeaks. He's attacked Putin. He's attacked the Republicans. And then lately, it's been the Clinton thing. Okay? So now when you look at that, you say, guys like Calism here will make an opinion based on Zucking politics. So you're going to call him names and going to, yes, Kellism is going to say that because he's a Zucking idiot because he only looks at it from a political side. Political side. Okay, that's what we're experiencing here. A reaction by politics rather than to the actual understanding the meaning of what this is all about. The problem, guys, is yes, Kellism. Understand what I'm saying here. The arrest and whatever the charges are, which we'll discuss in a second here, with Julian Assange has effects on everyone. Everyone. It has an effect on me. This is Zucking bad. This is Zucking bad for me. This is Zucking bad for the New York Times. This is Zucking bad for the Washington Post. This is Zucking bad for CNN, Fox News, everybody else, The Guardian. It's Zucking bad for all of us. And I'm going to try to explain this to you. I'm going to try to explain this to you because you don't understand. You just go around and say, well, that's good. He was arrested. It's like, yes, Zucking. No Kellism, it's Zucking. Go to Urban Dictionary and go figure it out. What the Zuck? Go in there and see what the definition is. It's my definition. Anyway. So, politics aside, language barrier, there's no Zucking language barrier, okay? There's no swearing in my scope. We don't swear here. We don't swear here. But we know about Zuck. So here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem. On what basis was Julian Assange arrested? I mean, I'm talking about in the UK, and then there's the indictment from the feds in the US. This is something that you need to understand. First of all, just to give you a little bit of backgrounder on why he's hiding in the Ecuadorian Embassy, the Swedish government had a rape case, a supposed rape case against him way back when, and which Assange disputes as being untrue. And when he went to the Ecuadorian Embassy for asylum in 2012, the case has since, the Swedish government case was dropped. Okay? The Swedish case was dropped. So I don't know where that is. So that's kind of a, you know, who knows where that's going. But that was dropped when he went to the Ecuadorian Embassy in 2012. I don't know what it was dropped. It was dropped somewhere in the middle there. Okay. He was potentially under arrest, under warrant. There was a warrant for his arrest in the UK because he skipped bail on that potential charge in Sweden. And the problem was he didn't want to go, do the potential charge in Sweden because that he wouldn't really be extradited to Sweden. He was afraid he was going to be extradited to the United States, which obviously is going to happen now. Okay? So the reality is, on that charge, since the Swedish thing was dropped and if you skip bail, then you can go to jail for a year, or you could be in jail for 3 weeks. I looked at some of the regular times that they spend in jail for skipping bail, and he's not going to be there for a year for skipping bail. It's not that big of a crime. So in theory, that's not even going to be a big thing. That's not the big fight. So if he went to trial for skipping bail, that could be that could be already be handled by time served, because he was in jail for a short amount of time. So that could be handled by time served. So that's not really the issue. The issue now is the let's say that he gets out of that the sentence for skipping bail. Then there's an extradition hearing to bring him to the U.S. Okay, so now here's the question: what is he charged with in the U.S.? And this is a very, very important. Hello, Katie, Diane Stone. What is he charged with in the U.S.? And this is the most important thing you all need to understand. Okay, this is a very important thing to understand. Yes, there is a reason for them to charge him with possessing confidential, classified documents. There's an actual law in the books that says if you publish classified documents, then you would be subject to being arrested and going to jail for that, for holding classified documents. Here's the problem, folks, because that's part of the indictment. Here's the problem, folks. Holding classified documents is a common thing. Holding classified documents or publishing it is a common thing. It's in fact done by every zucking newspaper. On this basis, the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, Fox News, all of those guys would be jailed too. Every journalist would be jailed on that basis, holding a classified document. In fact, I did a broadcast showing a classified document here. And then I read the law and I said, oh, Zuck. They could arrest me based on the same logic that they did with Assange, even though, of course, they showed the documents. Maui, of course, they showed the documents. Okay, the classified documents that I showed came from Wikipedia, but it was marked classified at the top. It was marked classified at the top. Of course, I'm zucking press. I'm here broadcasting, am I not? It was on the top, it said classified, and I put it on here, even though I got it from the internet on Wikipedia. I didn't get it from any classified source. It was on the zucking internet. It's marked classified. Under the law, that would be criminal. No one in the history of the press who has had documents classified documents over the history of time, including all of those people who published every document made public by Snowden, which is all of them. Everyone published all these classified documents by Snowden. All of those were classified documents. In theory, anyone that used any document showed by Snowden would be subject to the same law as Assange. He was. That was part of, Jeff, it was part of the indictment. That's part of it. There's a second part to it, but that's part of it. Okay, this is part one of the indictment. There's a second part to it. So I'm only talking about part one. This is the scary part, is that when someone would use this as an argument, then why haven't they used this against any media in the past? Every media that's, again, it's simply publishing. For example, The Guardian was one of the first ones to publish the documents from Snowden. They're classified documents. They published it. Under this same law, they could say, well, we got to indict the Guardian, which is in the UK, and indict the editor or the journalist who put it in, and take them to jail under the same law as Julian Assange, even though they're another country. So this is very, very bothersome, because it's even though the law is very clear on this, that you could go to jail for showing classified documents. The reality is that it's never been implemented ever. There's no one that's ever been. I think that law has been around since, I don't know, 100 years. Hello, Universal Truth. I think in 100 years or so. I don't know when it was. I don't know when the law was put in place, but it has never been applied to a single person. No one's gone to jail for that, because the assumption was, if you're in the press, that you hello, Twin Mom. The assumption was in the press, that that's fair game, because you're not the source. You're just publishing what you got from the source. They can punish the source. They can punish, which they do. In this case, they can punish the source, Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, and so on. They do punish the source, but to punish the publisher, because WikiLeaks is a publisher. You may not like what they publish, but WikiLeaks is a publisher. WikiLeaks is not a hacking agency. WikiLeaks doesn't go out hacking and collecting the data. WikiLeaks is just a publisher. It may be a different kind of publisher, but it's a publisher nevertheless. You may not like what it does, and you may not like the effects on your side if you're in politics. But the problem is, what are you doing to a publisher? This is a very, very scary concept, because if you're going to arrest people based on publishing something, even though they did not commit the crime, that is a very scary concept. Now, because it really would apply to anyone. So, I pulled out a document from Wikipedia. Does that mean somebody can make an excuse and say, well, you showed the document from that's marked classified, but I got it from on the internet? That's correct, Jeff. No, I don't know what that was actually part of the explanation, was the charge is a conspiracy, but they justified it with a thing. So with the documents, they justify with that. So I don't know. So they didn't go and actually charge him based on possessing the documents, which is good, but yet they referred to it in the indictment. Shocking guy. Again, you're putting politics into this. Please do not insert politics in this discussion. Okay, we're not talking about politics here. Every one of you has some opinion, and it's not really based on anything that you really know. But somebody from your side of the camp will say, "Oh, you did this and do that." I don't really care about that. Okay, I don't really care about that. I know from the history of WikiLeaks, which I've been talking about for 4 years here on Periscope, how they were against the revealing documents against the Republicans way back, and then now that it switched over to Hillary, then suddenly, oh, now he's a collusion with Russia and all this. So I mean, I don't need to discuss that. That's really not my point here, because you will all be polarized by that, and that's not really important to me. Okay. So you're all going to be polarized by whatever is revealed, and you're going to come up with a reason and justify it in whatever way, because it's part of your politics. Because you say, well, Hillary lost the election because of the WikiLeaks DNC hack, so therefore he's evil if you are a Democrat. And then those on Trump's side will say, well, that's a good thing that he released the Hillary documents, but yet you have to come back and look back a few years when they released documents about the Iraq War. It was the Republicans that were shamed by that. Okay, so don't give me this. It's like, it's like all of you on the left and the right, everyone just kind of cut it out. Cut it out. Okay, cut it out. It's just, it's all fake news to me. Okay. You basically want to come up with a narrative depending on whose side is being attacked. And so he attacked both sides, but at different time periods. So when he attacked the right, the right wing, the Republicans, then the left saying, ha ha ha, that's right, we're against the war, that's right. And then when Hillary's attacked and you say, oh, he's a Russian collusion, it's like, come on, stick to your sucking story. Stick to the sucking story here, okay? Obviously, you're not going to like what he releases. One half of you is not going to like it. I don't believe that shocking guy. No. That is not true, because you got to look at all the releases from the beginning. He released some stuff against Putin. And not too long ago either. Was it right before the election? He released some stuff against Putin. He was saying Putin's cronies were putting money in the Panama paper thing. Okay? And Putin himself was incriminated by that because all of his buddies were on the list. So Putin doesn't like him either. So what the fuck are you all talking about? As far as I can see, he just attacks everyone, so no one should like him. That makes more sense. No one should like him. Okay? So if you tell me no one likes him, okay, that makes sense, because I would agree with that. But when you start pushing out one side and saying that nothing else happened on the other side, false. He attacks everyone. That's my experience. He's attacked everyone. Okay, because he attacked everyone, I'm going to say, okay, well, I guess he's evenly bad to all. So, do you like him? Probably not. Do I like him? Probably not. However, he serves a great purpose. He serves a great purpose. Though you may like him or not, he serves a purpose that no one else can do at the moment. He'll be replaced if he's not there. Somebody else is going to take that, or some other organization. My point is that he's now representing an attack point that is just, it's a narrative by itself. Let me just tell you something. He's being indicted. He was indicted. Why it's revealing government? No, Harlem, you're getting it wrong. I like the fact that he reveals government lies. I'm saying the reverse. They're attacking him, not the way around. It's the other way around, Harlem. Yes, they're attacking him. He's revealing government lies and of different governments, and you're not going to like it if you're you're not going to like it if you're in whatever government. If you're part of the government or side of government that's being attacked, you're not going to like it. That's obvious. I understand that. Assange is an Australian citizen, but he was granted Ecuadorian citizenship. Yes, I mean, he released documents against, not to be correct my wording there for you, Harlem. He released documents against all sides. He's released documents against Putin. He's released documents against the right wing. He's released documents against corruption. He's released documents against the CIA. He's released documents against the DNC and so on. So he's released documents on all sides, depending on how far you go back. If you look back at all the WikiLeaks, I don't see any side in there. They just release everything. And whatever he releases, if you're a target of that, you're not going to like it. Or if it's your government being attacked, you're not going to like it. Okay? So that's understandable. I understand why some of you will not like him, and I don't. I understand that. But I need you to all to think away from that and start understanding that WikiLeaks itself is to prevent abuse of government. WikiLeaks is to prevent abuse of government. The CIA, Vault 7, showed that the CIA was doing tricks to hack not just foreign people, but the United States citizens. The NSA leak with Snowden was made to show us that the NSA was doing mass surveillance on U.S. citizens, not the rest of the world. And you don't think we need to know that? The abuse is being done to us, the average American citizen. And if not for the whistleblowers and the WikiLeaks, we wouldn't have that information. We wouldn't have that information. And WikiLeaks is a publisher, just like The Guardian was a publisher of whatever Snowden released. Snowden was the one that stole the data, gave it to The Guardian. The Guardian released it under the same law that they're trying to cite Julian Assange with. Somebody could, well, they wouldn't use the same law because the conspiracy is a different thing. But they could use the same rule against The Guardian when it comes to espionage, the Espionage Act of showing classified documents. Legality doesn't define morality. I agree, Harlem. I don't know, hey. Now, let me just tell you what he was actually charged with, because this was the biggest mystery of all. What could they possibly charge him with? In the New York Times. Yes, Jas Bossa. What could they possibly charge him with? This has been the mystery of all times. What would you possibly charge Assange with? This one is not clear. And then the charge they came up with was just so ludicrously light that I was like, this is it. This is basically the charge, guys. They charge him with a conspiracy, but this is the conspiracy. And I can see this press people, you know, especially some left wing biased journalists, who again are thinking only this in terms of Trump and are looking at it only from their narrow point of view, instead of what this actually means, are examining it and saying, he was charged with a conspiracy to hack a password. But if you look at the actual conversation between him and Chelsea Manning, this is the way it went. He said, do you have any more I'm going to paraphrase this in kind of a short way. The conversation with Chelsea Manning. Do you have any more documents? And Chelsea Manning, or Bradley Manning at the time, but now Chelsea Manning, said, no, this is all I have. Well, maybe you can find more. Well, that's all I have. I don't have any more. Well, if you have an inquiring mind, then you'll probably find more. Basically encouraging them to find more. Okay? where do you get that? Let's not get into theoreticals here. Hey, you're like bringing theoreticals that have nothing to do with this. Okay. So we're talking about the actual indictment. The indictment was for the attack of WikiLeaks against the Iraq War, supported by the hawks, the Republican hawks, during the Bush administration. That was what the Manning papers was about. Okay, so back in those days, the left was like, hey, this is cool. And in fact, as you know, Obama pardoned Manning. Chelsea Manning was pardoned. And yet, here we are, the pardoned individual is there, and then Julian Assange is being extradited for the charge when the other party is already out of jail and pardoned. So basically, they're saying that this was the discussion, and this is kind of crazy because it's like saying, let me just get a gist of a conversation here, so you understand. So according to the indictment, it said, something along the lines of maybe you should use a different password instead of your own so you don't get caught. You know, when you're stealing the documents, maybe you should use a different password. And this is apparently what Julian Assange said. You know, maybe you should use a different password, and suggested that to Chelsea Manning to use a different password when stealing the documents from the Army intelligence. Okay, and the response of the Justice Department is to turn that into the conspiracy that he then, basically told, is saying that it was Julian Assange who said, hey, crack the password. Cracking a password is not exactly a big mystery. I mean, you can Google how to crack a password, and maybe you can, maybe you cannot do it. But you can Google it. Are you telling me that Julian Assange just simply said, well, if you use a different password, then maybe you can, hide your tracks better? And that would be the conspiracy? Wow. That's pretty... Why are you protecting government secrecy? Not me, Harlem. What the fuck are you talking about? So I'm just surprised by that. That is the basis of the indictment. Is you probably should use a different password, not your own. Why don't you get somebody else's password? And that was that equivalent, apparently, according to the indictment, of instructing Manning that he's part of the conspiracy now to crack the password. Did he actually crack the password for her? That's, I don't know, that's pretty weird to me. That's pretty weird to me. Just having that kind of conversation is going to be considered a conspiracy. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine what I say here on Periscope. Somebody could just twist my words out of context and just say, hey, you said this, and we're going to go indict you for that. It's like, Zuck. This is like crazy stuff here. And this could be then used against every zucking journalist where this ever happened, where somebody says, oh, you're stealing some secret documents from Ford Motor Company, and why don't you use a different password? Oh, that'll be a conspiracy to hack. Oh my gosh, simply by even suggesting that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, in the past, we've made this exclusion, like the press is not subject to that, because in their process of trying to reveal the truth and seeing if the government is abusing us, it's the press's job, even if it's alt-right, alt-left, or mainstream media, it's their job to dig out the information in any way they can. It is up to WikiLeaks, Assange, or whoever else. It's up to the journalists to dig as much as they can And it will be important for, if I were a journalist, to dig as much as I can, because that's my job, to dig. And we're saying to them, I guess you can't dig. You just take the offer. This is what they give you. And they say, you can't say, is there more? If you ask for more, it's a conspiracy. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to tell you, this sounds to me like it's pretty shallow. And by the way, the conspiracy indictment carries a maximum sentence of 5 years. 5 years. Maximum. Okay? That shows you how light this is. Okay? So they're going to indict him only to keep him in jail for a year. It's like, what the fuck is this all about? Guys, what is this all about? It's like a show. You're going to indict him on something that every reporter does, and then and it's not even a big enough case that you can keep him in there for his lifetime. The maximum term is 5 years, so that means he could be out, max in a couple of years. It's like, what is this? This is what we're spending time on. This is like spending years and years and years on collusion. This is the same kind of, amount of focus on this. And it's almost like we're just trying to make an example here. So we're going to make an example of Assange and maybe give him the max 5 years, and then he's going to get out anyway for good behavior. It's like, but just to give you an example, guys, one of the most well-known hackers of all time is Kevin Mitnick, one of the best-known hackers of all time. He was evading the FBI for doing a bunch of things with telecom, and no, Chelsea has been pardoned by Obama. Chelsea is a free person. Chelsea was pardoned by Obama when Obama left office. So Chelsea was only in prison for a very short amount of time. Okay, so short amount of time. What was I saying? Now I lost track of what I was saying. I lost track of what I was saying. Hello, unknown person. Hello, Rick Reed. Hello, Drac. Hello, Drac. Make sure you follow my guys. For those of you who just came in, my normal Twitter account, Rob Braxman Tech, was suspended. Please follow my Brax_me account, BraxMe account, and so I don't lose track of anyone here, and also my YouTube account, which is Rob Braxman Tech. So the hacker was Kevin Mitnick. He was the most well-known and the most major hacker of all time, and he was hacking telephones and telephone systems and telephone companies. He could hack any telephone company and knew about every trick in the book related to going in there and, changing mobile phones and so on. For example, if you change the IMEI number of a phone, which is the ID of a phone, that would put you in the slammer. I guess he was charged with, I don't know, 60 years of or something. It was like 60, it's like, I don't know, 100 years of prison time. Okay. He was out in 5 years or less, probably less. He was out in 5 years, and now he's a cybersecurity consultant. I'm sure well paid. He's now a cybersecurity consultant. So the most famous hacker of all time, arrested, and they went through all the search for him all over the country, scared him with prison time of so many years, and he made money while he was still in prison. He came out, paid off everything, and then came out with money at the end of his prison term. Pretty funny. Pretty funny. So he actually he did well. He did well, and his claim to fame is he never hacked to hurt anyone. He hacked because he couldn't help himself. He liked the thrill of hacking. He didn't do anything with the data that he hacked. He didn't hurt anyone with it, but he just liked to hack. So anyway, that's Kevin Mitnick, and and the biggest hacker of all time. So this one, to say that we're going to put you in jail for 5 years because you want to crack a password, geez, I mean, how many hackers out there want to crack a password, and how much time are they getting in jail for that? None. Probation. Probably probation. Probably all they're going to get. So it's just, I'm just saying that, this whole thing about, we're going to extradite Assange, and then the charges are so weak, that the maximum sentence for it is 5 years, maximum. It's almost like, it made it sound like, he hacked 50 million accounts, and all he probably did was suggest to Chelsea Manning, well, you should probably use a different password. That's probably all he said. You should use a different password. And that was in a conversation that would be considered to be a conspiracy to break somebody's password. My goodness. I'm now curious about when I do a broadcast and say, hey, you should break his password, that would be considered a conspiracy? Oh my gosh. OMG. This is like scary situation here. This is a good way to shut down the press. Telling you. This is like saying, we're the government here. You stay away. We got secrets here, and we can hide our secrets, and you have no rights to know. You have no rights to know. I'm gonna just don't break passwords. What about just downloading Kali and then the password breakers in Kali? So if you download Kali Linux, that means you're a password breaker. And then if you talk to somebody about it, that would make you a conspirator. Oh my gosh. Simply talking about it? Whew. Scary business I'm in here. I'm not sure I want to be in this business now. Okay? I do here is talk about privacy and how this affects us. This concerns me because one of the things that the WikiLeaks, this concerns me because one of the things that that it does for us, in privacy, because I'm a privacy evangelist. This is an important thing for me because when I know that my own government, of which I'm a citizen of this country, and my own government is saying, well, we can circumvent the laws of the land by doing mass surveillance, and no one is supposed to know about that. Nobody's supposed to know that your police in your city, in my case, Los Angeles, can use a device called Stingray, which, if you don't know what Stingray is, and Triggerfish or whatever new version they have, that they can spy on your, that's the whole point, hey? They can spy on your conversations, they can spy on your activity on a cell without a warrant. Warrantless. Yes, what about Aaron Swartz? What happened to that? So they can spy on your activities, and they don't need a warrant. And that doesn't bother you. This is why, I may not have cared about WikiLeaks 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I may not have cared about a Snowden type of person back then. But today, when I find these things out, I'm saying, what the zuck have we allowed to grow here? Why is our own government trying to circumvent the Fourth Amendment by spying on our activities with Rule 41, with the FISA Act, with mass surveillance from the CIA, with mass surveillance from the NSA? Why the zuck are we allowing this? And then when somebody like WikiLeaks or Snowden reveals it to us, we say, well, they're zucking criminals. Well, I'm going to say, I don't care what you think about those people. The information they gave me is extremely valuable to me and for all of you. The information revealed about the CIA Vault 7, the information revealed about the NSA information is useful to you all because you did not know that your own government was circumventing the Fourth Amendment. And they're doing it in front of you right now with Stingray, with Rule 41, and all of these little things that they do to say, well, we don't need a warrant to collect your information. There's a story that was big in the news because there's a lawsuit, okay? There's a story that's big in the news because there's a lawsuit related to this. This guy who was the CTO or Chief Technology Officer for Mozilla, and then he left Mozilla and worked for a startup which was purchased by Apple. So he works for Apple right now. He was stopped at the border. He's a naturalized American citizen. He's originally from Germany. He was stopped at the border, and at the border they said, show us your ducking computers now. So he was stopped by Customs and Immigration at the border, ICE, and they said, we need to examine your computers now. We know who you are, Mr. I forgot his name. Began with a T. Was it Tim? I forget. Okay. Show us your documents now. He said, well, I can't do that without permission from my employer. I work for Apple. Yeah, we know who you are. We need to see what's in your stuff. And by the way, this guy worked with encryption. The same kind of stuff I work with. He worked with encryption. And so he went to he was stopped at the border and he refused to and he was held at immigration. Again, this is a U.S. citizen. So I'm a U.S. citizen. There has to be a warrant. And they gave him a fake document saying this is the United States Law 18, civil whatever. They put all the 18.1 this and that. And, this is the law that we're citing here that gives us a right to do this. And at the end of that, his lawyer looked at that and said it was false. So the customs agents were abusing their power. They were abusing their power by saying, yeah, we can examine your stuff as an American citizen, not as a foreigner. Obviously, they can do it to a foreigner. But they, as an American citizen protected by the Fourth Amendment, should not have to give in to that. And yet, they do it. No, it happened a year ago, and the guy filed a lawsuit against ICE. Okay, so why were they subject to that? No, they let him go, but then he filed a lawsuit. They didn't open up his phone. Eventually, they let him go. But, he's so scared to travel now. He said he's so scared to travel internationally. I would be too, because of what I do. Oh, thank you, Frito Laugh Now. Hopefully you got some value out of that. Because that, caused my Twitter account to be suspended. So if you appreciate it, that's good because, it caused a suspension. The example I used in that video was Twitter. So right after that video, account was suspended. So I'll explain that tomorrow. I'll discuss that video and the suspension tomorrow. I want to hear more from Twitter by tomorrow and see what they think. So anyway, I'm really concerned about this because I can't even tell you if Assange is somebody I would like or not like as a person. I can't tell you if I like what he represents as a person, Assange. But I can tell you that it's invaluable for me what gets released on WikiLeaks. E.T. Buck, that's supposedly what they were supposed to do, but they just said no. They gave him some alternative law that said this is what you should do, and not in the presence of an attorney. So, So anyway, that was So this is really bothersome because when we see abuse in government, as was done by this guy on the border, and and all of these abuses that gets revealed by the WikiLeaks sites and the Edward Snowdens of the world, it benefits us all. We may not like the guy, but in general, it benefits us. Okay, we may not like the effects on the election. We may not like it in that sense. I'm going to tell you about the DNC hack. Okay, some of you, if you're Democrat, you're going to hate the DNC hack because you're going to say, "Wow, that really shifted the election and against your candidate." But let me just tell you about the DNC hack. If there's anything, as a kind of a moderate person, I'm a moderate, and I when I read the things from the DNC hack, what I said was, "Wow, this Hillary is kind of bitchy." I believe that, Pete DeSullivan. Exactly. I believe you. Hello, Impulse. So, was it? Did you want to hide the fact that Hillary was actually bitchy? Well, I already knew Trump was bitchy. At least that was obvious. He's not exactly hiding it. That's why you all hate him, right? But, Hillary had a public face that was different from the private face. Trump seems to be public, private the same. So it's like there was some mystery. You already know why you don't like him, because you don't like him in public, which is the same way he is in private. Hillary was a little different because she would always have this very, controlled public presence. And the DNC leak showed me a private presence, which was, for some people would say, that's interesting that I never saw that personality before. So somebody moderate would look at that and say, oh yeah, that was kind of revealing. Now there was no smoking gun in the DNC leak. If you think there was a smoking gun in there was none. If anything, it only revealed kind of a personality. It revealed just a personality. Thank you, no more hate, please. DNC hack, not leak. DNC hack, not leak. It's WikiLeaks. That's what WikiLeaks does. It leaks. Okay? It leaks documents. That's what WikiLeaks does. Whoever gives it the documents, it leaks it. So you. By the way, hey, I don't agree with you. I don't know if it's a hack or not. That's not true. Hey, I don't believe that. I have some technical disputes with that completely. No, that is not true. Hey, that's what you think happened. I don't agree with that. Okay, I'm going to tell you, hey, that's what you were told. But I'm checking the cybersecurity data, and to this day, I don't see any corroboration that showed me exactly what the facts are. I did a separate video on this. I don't want to repeat it. Okay, I don't want to repeat it. Yes, I know Guccifer 2 was never proven to be connected. Guccifer 2 never actually released any actual documents on his Guccifer 2 thing. He only claimed it. So I don't know what everyone's motives are. Guccifer 2 claimed that there were no actual documents associated with him. He didn't show a fresh document that says, here's an example that's not in the leak, but I have it in private. I'm going to show it to you. He didn't have that. So there's actually, the corroboration is incomplete. Plus the hack was not ever actually proven to me as a hack because there's so many inconsistencies in it. You can look for you report all you want. Obviously, there's no indictment of that relates to that. So there you go. Where's the indictment with Assange? Why was Assange not indicted for that then? Come on. Don't jump into conclusions. I have a lot of questions. The questions were not answered. I researched through that again just recently. I went through this Guccifer 2 and the DNC hack and all this. I looked at it again and I said, they haven't answered the main question. How did you know it was Russian? That was the main question. How did you know it was Russian? And when they answered how they know it was Russian, I said, well, that's pretty faulty logic. So the company FireEye, which was the one that initially said it was Russian, did a review of the report, I believe last year, and I read it again, and they said their conclusion is the same. And it's like, really? Years later, the same hacker who's using Russian language and Russian timestamps in the virus continued to use the same technique even after they get caught 6 years later. Sorry, not buying it. Because you're saying that the Russians are dumb hackers. That's really what you're saying. The Russians are dumb hackers, and I don't buy that. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, especially because the CIA has a tool to change attribution of any virus. They have a tool. They can attribute any virus to anyone they want. Okay? So, no, it's the story we hear from the top, the NSA, and from Obama. The truth. This is an example of truth we're never going to hear. We're never going to hear the actual truth. This is what they claim to be the truth. I don't believe it. No, that is not true, Podesta. It could have been done some other way. No, you are completely wrong, hey. I'm going to tell you something, hey, that you should know about. The emails were taken from the DNC. Who has all of your emails? That doesn't need to be hacked. Who has all of your emails? It doesn't need to be hacked at all. They have it already. They can just copy it, put to a sucking disk. Who has your email? Hey, now. They don't need to hack you for your email. Who has your email? Hey, answer that question. No, hey. The National Zucking Agency takes your emails through AT&T servers. This was published in The Guardian. And they store that in Utah. They have all of your emails, every one of you. So since they have it in the database, every single email, are you saying no one can copy those emails on a disk and say, oh, this was hacked? It's not an impossibility. It's not an impossibility that somebody could just copy it from a disk from the National Zucking Agency and said, here, call it a hack. It's not an impossibility that there's some Clinton hater deep down in deep state that said, well, I don't want Clinton to win. I can copy it to a disk. They can do it, so they could. And you're saying there's not a possibility. I think it's a possibility. It's certainly one of the many possibilities that are possibilities. I am not saying that. So, hey, are you saying they don't have the emails? Hey, just answer me. Are you saying that the National Zucking Agency does not have your emails? Because are you going to contradict what Snowden has already told us? Are you saying that the National Zucking Agency does not have your emails? Well, hey, the National Zucking Agency has your email. I just told you there's a whole article on The Guardian that I've already told you from day one that I can capture your email, so why wouldn't the National Zucking Agency do it? They did. They have 8 peering stations all over the country capturing your email and forwarding it to Utah. It's in an article on The Guardian. So they have your email. This is not a big mystery to me. They have your email. They have all of Clinton's emails. Now, they can't show it to you because that would be a breach of national security, but they have it. But somebody, an insider who said, well, I'm deep state, I can do it. Hey, I'm saying this is an example. Don't listen to sucking politicians, hey. Don't listen to sucking politicians. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone. You're too trusting when you say, oh, the politicians told me it was the Russians. Really? There's no other possibility? I don't know what the truth is. I'm just telling you that I have questions. I know the National Security Agency has your email. Could they do it? Yes, they could. Did they have to hack? No, they didn't have to hack. They already have it in the database. It's not a Bulgarian timestamp. For which one was the Bulgarian timestamp? It was a Russian timestamp. Said Moscow time. Do you think Assange assistance with breaking and entering? What the fuck are you talking about, Kelp? What is this breaking, entering you're talking about? What is the assistance that you're talking about? Did he go over to Iraq and or the Iraq intelligence and do that? Did he do something physically? So anyway, I'm bothered by all this because it just goes to show where your government can take power and we just take it, and we're told whatever we're told, and we just agree with it and say, oh, that must be true because somebody told us. I don't believe everything I hear. Okay, I do not. That's why I'm kind of neutral with all of this. I don't if it was hacked or not, I have no idea. But I do have questions. The questions are not answered. So because the questions are not answered, I have some why is the story so consistently made this way, but they never really explain some of the logic. How does that, and let me repeat the story so you understand what I'm talking about, okay? Because some of you don't understand where I'm coming from, okay? The premise of the DNC hack, supposed hack, this is the premise of the supposed DNC hack, was that the virus was found to have a Russian signature. You all heard that, right? Kelp, apparently, Obama found that Chelsea Manning did a great job and should be pardoned, so Chelsea Manning has been pardoned. Chelsea Manning has been pardoned, Kelp, so what do you say about that? What's your opinion about that? That's what I believe in, Pete Sullivan. That is what I believe in. That we as journalists or broadcasters or, people like me as well. Kelp, don't care. You do your thing. So, let me again repeat my little story about the DNC question that I have. This has been bothering me like when right before the election, when they said that this was Russian, Obama quickly went on TV and showed an NSA document that says, we believe that the DNC hack was instigated by Russians. This is what was said by Obama. And all of you then say, oh, Russian collusion, this, that. That became the Russian collusion story from then on. And then went into Steele, dossier, and all that, and turned into the Mueller thing. But that's really where it started. The DNC hack was perceived to be Russian because Obama said so. And I actually read the document from the NSA, the analysis. And let me tell you, there are some huge holes in that analysis. Huge. Oh, I believe so, hey? I actually do believe that. Oh, no doubt. Okay, let me just tell you what some of the holes are. The reference to the way, this is the group that looks for, the group that determines who the hacker is, the attribution group. It's called FireEye. That's the name of the organization. So FireEye is a company that attributes behavior out on the internet and assigns it to a group. So it found this group and they called it APT, Advanced Persistent Threat, APT 28. That was the label they gave to something they found in 2013, I believe. 2013. They found some viruses out in the wild, and they said, let's look at these viruses out in the wild, and they were being used against people in the old Soviet bloc, like Ukraine and so on. And we're going to mark this APT 28. Okay, listen to this. Hey, listen to this carefully, because you need to understand where we're coming from here. Okay, so how did they determine in 2013 that the virus, so-called virus, was attached to Russia? Well, the group they called APT 28, so the behavior and specific viruses they found, they said was APT 28. And FireEye, there's a document at FireEye. If you read the documents up, it says we conclude that this is Russian because of Russian timestamps, that the timestamps of the files fit Moscow working hours, workday, and there were Russian language inserts in the virus. Russian language data and Russian timestamps in the viruses that were used by APT28 in 2013 against some players out in Eastern, in Ukraine and whoever they were trying to attack back then. Okay? So they said, oh, likely the virus is Russian because of the political purpose of the virus, plus the signature on the timestamp. This was in 2013, okay? 2013. FireEye established that. FireEye, this document from FireEye, no, hey, listen to me, please listen. Listen to the dates. Listen to the dates, hey, the dates. 2013, FireEye published a document in 2014 saying this hack is identified to be Russian in 2014. We've identified that this hack of 8028 is Russian in 2014. This document is on the internet. This document is visible to the Russians. The Russians can see, oh my gosh, we were caught. The Russians can see that the virus they used in 2013 was caught, and they can see all their mistakes. They can see, what are the mistakes? Oh, we used Russian timestamps, and we used Russian language stuff in the virus. So that was really dumb of us. We better not do that again. That's what a normal hacker would do. So you're telling me that in 2016, well, I read the detailed report too, hey. In 2016, they used the same exact signature with Russian timestamps and Russian language that's already been caught by FireEye years ago. So in 2 years' time, they said, oh, we got caught. We're going to use this against the DNC. Oh, smart. Oh, come on, open source. Really smart. This is a large hacking organization with probably a ton of people, probably a building full of hackers working for the Russian government. And you're telling me that they said, oh, we got caught in 2013 for our 2013 virus. We're going to keep using it even though it's already caught. It's already been identified. Attribution is attributed to us. We're going to keep using it. My gosh, people, I mean, how gullible are you? Obviously, you can change attribution. How hard is it to make a sucking virus and put Russian characters in there? How hard is it to put Russian timestamps on any virus? Well, the CIA has a tool that does that. It's part of the CIA Vault 7 released by WikiLeaks. They actually have the toolkit for that. And you're telling me that's the only way that you're going to decide the attribution? I was looking for any other notations on what the attribution is. And years later, they did not change the attribution. It was still based on timestamps. You're telling me that in 2018, they still didn't change their software from 2013. They probably wrote it in 2012. And you're telling me that 6 years later, they're still saying, well, this looks Russian, but I guess we're not going to change it. And yet the CIA, when they did Stuxnet, no one can still attribute Stuxnet to the CIA. Oh, I guess CIA is smarter than the Russians because there are no Russian whatever. There are no timestamps or anything on Stuxnet. We can't actually attribute Stuxnet to the U.S., but the Russians are so dumb, we attributed their virus to them. Guys, you are living in a simplistic world. You don't really know what's going on. Anyone can change any virus to look like anything. The CIA can make it look like it's Russian. The Chinese can make it look like it's Russian. The Israelis can make it look like it's Russian. The Iranians can make it look like it's Russian. On and on. You don't fucking know anything. You do not know anything. Yes, apparently Russians don't know how to hack. That's what you're implying, hey? That the Russians don't know how to hack. They're so bad at this. So that's not my feeling here. My feeling is the Russians are likely pretty good at this. So likely they're equivalent to the CIA. If the CIA can hide, then so can the Russians. And yes, John McAfee believes the same exact thing as I said. He said the exact same thing. He said, it doesn't make sense to me because, I know how to write this stuff. And if I know that I'm going to get caught, I'm not going to write it again like that. Hey, it's because the reason for APT reference, okay, the reason for APT reference is because it's sophisticated, which means they have resources. Who has the resources? Well, obviously, any state player has resources. Yes, Kelp, why don't you tell some truth once in a while? Why don't you tell some truth once in a while, Kelp? Hey, I disagree with him. Because they have no other way of gauging. Okay, look, hey, FireEye has no other way of gauging attribution. They have to come up with something. Okay? They have to see what the evidence shows. The evidence shows that whoever made it appear to look like it's Russian, it makes it appear to look Russian. And they have to look at that. They have no other way to say it. They can't say, well, somebody made it to look like Russian, but it could be Chinese because they have no evidence to say otherwise. They say, well, it looks Russian right now. Well, obviously, if somebody attributed the virus to the Russians by putting Russian timestamp Russian language, which anyone can do, well, then that's it. So, who could it be? I have no fucking idea. But one of the possibilities, I'll give you a possibility so you think about it. What if the deep state says, we're going to copy those files, put them on the sucking disk, and say it was hacked, and then take some old virus from somewhere and say, this was the virus we found, and take one from 2013 and said, we found this virus, and this was connected to these documents. And then somebody handed the documents to WikiLeaks and say, here, post them. What makes that any more inconceivable than anything else? Could be anyone. Anyone who dislikes whoever. Anyone who disliked Hillary could have done it. Anyone. It could have been Peter Thiel. Could have been the Koch brothers. Who zucking knows? It could be somebody in the deep state. It could be somebody in the deep state who's a friend of the Koch brothers. Koch brothers, right? Koch? Don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Koch brothers? Okay, Koch. Snowden, who's a leans left. Hey, Snowden leans left. I just want to make this clear, okay? Snowden leans left. He said that. Snowden says there's a deep state. Okay, so all of you who have, all your political whatever switches on, turn the politics off because I don't want to hear it. I don't look at the politics. I'm only looking at it's in front of me in a kind of a neutral way. Why is he hiding in Russia? Because if he leaves Russia, he's going to be zucking arrested. He doesn't have a zucking passport. Why is he hiding in Russia? Because if he shows up, some assassin's going to go kill him. Arrested for what? Both Hillary and Trump said that they need a death penalty for Snowden. Both Hillary and Trump said that death penalty for Snowden. Oh, of course he's not innocent. Of course he did steal the documents. Is there any doubt that Snowden stole the documents? No, he admits it openly. He did steal the documents. Oh, why is he hiding in Russia? Oh, I'm going to go and use a cell phone. By the way, that's why, watch my videos. That's why Snowden doesn't use a cell phone. Because he knows that if he uses a cell phone, he's going to get hammered. So, yeah, why not Ecuador instead? How does he go to Ecuador? He can't even leave. Now he's taken out. He can't get on a plane. He does not have a passport. Pete Sullivan, I'm liking you. You're like Pete Sullivan. You're awesome. Smuggled by ship. Once he leaves the protection of any country, if he's caught in the middle of the ocean by some U.S. vessel, then he's zucked. No, he is zucked. He's probably making money while he's in Russia. He was an NZA contractor and wonder what info he gave up. What are you wondering about? Hey, it's all published what he gave up. It's in an archive. It's not a mystery. Go on Wikipedia. You can see what he gave up. It's all there. I actually published some of his documents on my broadcast, and that's when I said, Espionage Act here. I made a suggestion about the subject discussed. All our military intel. It's well read as you're implying, hey, I mean, you're very inconsistent here. Okay, you're like in some ways you sound very well informed, and then you're missing out on something that's major as Snowden. Why don't you just look at Wikipedia? No, it has nothing to do with military intelligence. That ship would be sunk. Oh yeah, it would disappear. If Snowden carried a cell phone, he would disappear too. Where are the rest of the holes? Why NSA open an account in GitHub and uploading a bunch of tools? Well, it's open source. It's open source. So they can't put like some hidden things on it. But he had access for military secrets. Now he is in Russia. He had access to military secrets. Now he is in Russia. All you're saying is sharing military secrets to Russia. He claims he doesn't do that he doesn't work for the Russians. I don't buy it. Of course, Kelp, you're Kelp. Because for you, it's like the government is all, Pete Sullivan, meet Kelp. Pete Sullivan, meet Kelp. Kelp is your opposite. Need to be like, are the phonies. They espouse it. It's Microsoft open source. No, it's an actual open source. So somebody even made some corrections to the code already. I didn't look at it though. I don't know what the open source licensing was. This is actually interesting. I'm, guys, again, all of you, many of you look at things with a view of politics as your lens. I don't. Let me tell you my lens, okay? Because I'm a little bit different than the rest of you. My lens is, guys, is I don't trust government. Sorry. I'm just not that trusting. Okay? Kelp is very trusting of government. Kelp thinks that we can forgo the Fourth Amendment because he trusts government. I saw what Snowden did. Snowden revealed that government abuse happens. Kelp said, oh, government abuses us with mass surveillance. It's good. It catches terrorists. That's Kelp for you. Me, I look at that and I say, why the Zuck are you abusing your own Zucking citizens? Why the Zuck are you abusing American citizens, which are protected by the Fourth Amendment rights? And you're saying, we're going to skip out, we're going to cancel the Fourth Amendment on you U.S. citizens, and we're going to have this secret program to surveil you, and it doesn't use the Fourth Amendment, so therefore we can catch anything we want. Love you, Pete DeSullivan. You're okay. Are you following my YouTube account, Pete DeSullivan? You better subscribe to my YouTube account. Yes, I am the term for me is a civil libertarian. I'm kind of I believe in individual rights. I believe in people. I believe in people's individual rights. Okay? I believe that we are given a right. I believe that the government works for us. Now, the government doesn't believe that. The people in Congress don't believe that. They believe the opposite, that we work for them. And that they manipulate us, give us the information we want, make us believe what we want, and then we say, well, I guess civil Kelp, I guess I'm the same as Alan Dershowitz, who is civil. I got the term from him. He calls himself a civil libertarian, and he's a lawyer, and who votes him in? Kelp, they can manipulate you. So this is the funny thing about Kelp. He says, who votes them in? The people who have information given by those who you vote for. So therefore, if they tell you that you should believe in Russian collusion or no Russian collusion or this or that, whatever the story is, and you believe it, then you don't believe there's an alternative answer because that's what you were told. I don't believe that, people. I question things. I question things just like Snowden showed us that you should question things. Snowden revealed a truth to us that we did not know about. WikiLeaks revealed things in Vault 7 and even in the DNC hack that we did not know about. The Chelsea Manning leak, the thing that he's not an OJ guy, I don't think. The Chelsea Manning or Bradley Manning originally leak was based on stories of the U.S. soldiers shooting civilians in Iraq. Okay? Apparently you don't want to know that. U.S. soldiers shooting civilians in Iraq. Now, Kelp said, well, that's treason to show that. Because American citizens should not know that your own soldiers are shooting civilians in a war zone. You don't need to know that. We, the government, want to hide that from you. Well, that's what WikiLeaks did. Now he's going to be arrested for that. Oh, okay, Kelp. I guess, so you're saying that U.S. soldiers should kill civilians. You're okay with that? Go Twine. The government has been spying on us for more than 50 years. They're spying on us since I believe, the 30s, since the invention of the telegraph, actually. So before that. So, 80, 90 years. It happens in every war. So Kelp says that if there's a secret, if your government is committing atrocities somewhere in the world, you should not know it. That's what Kelp said. That's what Kelp said. That if your government is doing something evil, you shouldn't know it. Let me just tell you. Let me just tell you a little story here again for those of you just to persist in this, because you that like Kelp, because Kelp is Kelp. Well, let me just repeat the story to you. So for some of you, okay, let's go back to the Cuban period when somebody tell me the name of the incident, the Cuban incident, where the chief of staff wanted to execute a false flag operation. No, not the Bay of Pigs, but the false flag operation. And this is in the history books, where they would sink, U.S. intelligence would sink a U.S. ship and blame it on Castro. That the U.S. government would sink a U.S. ship with U.S. soldiers. Lemnitzer, thank you, shocking guy, since you led me to that book. Okay, Lemnitzer, General Lemnitzer, chief of staff to Kennedy, said, "This is what we want to do, Mr. President. We want to sink our own ship near Cuba, so that we can blame Castro. Yes, some soldiers will die, U.S. soldiers will die, but we get to attack Cuba. It's be the justification for attacking Cuba. And don't worry about the morality of that, Mr. President, because, it's for a bigger cause that we're fighting communism." So Kelp says, oh, I guess we don't need to know that actually happened in history. So Kelp says, we can ignore that part of history because I don't go back beyond 10 years. This goes beyond Facebook, so that part of history doesn't exist. Oh, yeah, so we should commit atrocities wherever we want, and we don't want to know about the morality issue. Pete Sullivan, we can't know that. No, it didn't happen. Kennedy said, no, we're not going to do that, and then he got assassinated. One of the biggest mysteries of all time. So Kelp, you say you're saying that you don't want to know if your government commits an atrocity. That's all I'm asking here, Kelp. I don't care about any other government, Kelp. I'm saying, do you not want to know that your government is committing an atrocity? Do you not want to know if the government is doing something against you? Do you not want to know if the government is plotting against you? You are the sucking people that own this land and control this land, not your government. This is not your government's land. This is your land. The government represents you. The government represents you, not the other way around. Oh, hey, it's not evil if it's Democrat, but it's evil if it's Republican? Snowden revealed evil to me. I said, what the zuck are they doing? So isn't that dual-sided thinking there? There you go, Pete. Exactly. Kelp, don't care about whatever you're talking about with other governments. I'm asking you as an American citizen, is this the government that you want? You want this to be like Russia, like the Soviet Union, where they do whatever they want. You don't need to know. If you want that, then go to the Soviet Union. Let's turn this country into the Soviet Union if that's what you fucking want. Then vote for it. Say, I want this country to be the Soviet Union with, let's put, a Stalin-like leader up there, and that's what we're going to have in this country. Is that what you want? Or do you want what we have, which is Constitution? Or you want to say, I want to subvert the current constitution by saying, let's see what we can change with subterfuge and say, we're going to hide the Fourth Amendment. We're going to circumvent the Fourth Amendment. That's what Snowden revealed. Kelp, you are completely missing the point. Completely missing the point. Completely missing the point, Kelp. You're saying you don't want to know. You, the voter, you don't want to know. Kelp doesn't want to know. Okay? Well, I want to know. I want to know. I want to know what my government is doing. I want to know what the government is doing. What are those military secrets? Hey, you're making guesses now. I don't know of a single military secret that you claim was revealed. What is the military secret that was revealed? And where are you getting this? Hey, who's telling you this? In case you didn't know what happened to Snowden, did you watch the Snowden movie? Did you watch the Snowden movie, hey? You probably didn't watch the Snowden movie, so I'm going to tell you. The way that it actually happened, hey, is that Snowden gave all the papers, all of them, to, what's his name from The Guardian? Something Walt. Okay? So he gave all the documents to the press, Glenn. Okay, what's Glenn's last name? Buchwald? Greenwald. There you go. Greenwald. Okay. So he gave all the stuff that he took, which are on discs, and gave them all to Greenwald and to two parties, Greenwald and somebody else in the Washington Post, I believe. So he gave it to two parties, Greenwald and this was in the movie. And said, you decide what you're going to release. I don't want to make a decision of what's going to be released because there may be some things in there that might have a negative impact on military secrets, etc. So he gave it all to them and said, you decide. I am not going to keep a single document. So Snowden had no document on him. All the documents were held by the media. All the documents were held by the media. So when you're saying he stole some military secrets, what does where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? So it was up to those reporters to decide what was going to be released, because he gave them the opportunity to decide if something may be bad for national security. Show me. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm curious what it is. I mean, obviously the fact that it's bad enough that we know that the government is spying on everyone, including U.S. citizens. But then you don't repeat an inaccuracy. So the information has to come from the people who hold the actual documents, which have to be Greenwald and whoever the other person was, I forget. Okay? So they hold the documents and they decided to release it. So he put all the data on the disk and gave it to them. Said, here, pick what you're going to release. He didn't say release everything. Well, Skizzer, my thing is that if somebody is committing a crime against citizens by doing mass surveillance and spying on us, even though we're protected by the Fourth Amendment, apparently not. Apparently we're not protected by the Fourth Amendment. And our response is, like Kelp, okay. Well, it'll catch some terrorists. Everything is always, this is the Kelp's thing. Let's put a police block on every corner. Oh, okay, that's good. We'll catch some terrorists. Oh, let's do a house-to-house inspection. Oh, that's good. That'll catch some terrorists. Let's do a strip search every time you go to your office. Oh, okay, that'll catch some terrorists. This is kelp. Like he can justify a police state and saying it will catch some terrorists, so it can't be a bad thing. Okay, I mean, I I don't get it. I don't get the responses of some of you. I really don't. It really, really bugs me when I, see the scenario like this. It just bugs me. This is supposed to be our government. Yes, repeal the Zucking Patriot Act. Repeal the Zucking FISA Act that's meant to, again, take away our rights. So you feel bad for... I feel bad for the system, hey? Julian as a person is not relevant to me. As a person, I'm more concerned about the system. As a person, do I like Assange or not? I already said that. I don't really know. In some ways, I like him. In some ways, I don't like him. As a person. Snowden, I like. I like Snowden. He took a lot of risk for us. He committed a crime, knowing it's a crime, committed it to give knowledge that I value that knowledge every single day. Okay? In fact, my whole scope is based on his knowledge. So I value Snowden a lot. I think that the knowledge he gave us is good. And he was kind of a single purpose kind of, thing. His thing was to reveal surveillance. I've been there when Kelp hasn't made very controversial comments. Yes, dear fun guy. Why are you eager to believe Snowden? What is there any incorrect document, Kelp? Are you saying that some of the documents released by Snowden is incorrect? Kelp, answer that question for me. Are you disputing a particular document released by Snowden? Is there a document that he released that you're saying is false? Kelp, are you saying that Snowden is wrong, that we are not actually under mass surveillance? Kelp, be honest with me here. Can you point a specific document, say that document is false? Because I'm going to tell you something, Kelp. No one from the National Zucking Agency has disputed any single Zucking document. Not one. The National Zucking Agency didn't come out and say those documents are false. He did not say that. They said, we're going to take you to jail because you released real documents. Because they're going to take him to jail for releasing real documents. Hey, why would you put somebody in jail? Why would you arrest somebody for releasing something that's not real? There are no retractions. There is nothing ever stated. They said he really stole real documents, and that is in the minds of deep state and the powerful people in the establishment. They said that you hurt the country. For the rest of us, they said he didn't hurt the country. He helped us understand what's going on, and hopefully it will affect elections. My gosh, if everyone thinks like you, hey, this country is so zuck. Please watch the Snowden movie, Waffle Boy. Yes, it was very good. Well, it doesn't matter that obviously it will hurt, but the value of the help is bigger because it helps to have a freer society. If you want one side of the story, the other side is very clear. If you want one side of the story, the documents speak for itself. I can't understand these people. They say, the documents are false. The Snowden documents are false. But we're going to take him to jail and arrest him for stealing, classified documents. But those documents are false. Oh, the DNC hack, they were not really hacked by the Russians because those were false emails those were false emails from Hillary. Those didn't really come from Hillary. Those were false emails. Look what Kelp is saying. Kelp doesn't even read the documents, distributed by Snowden, and he's like making the statements. It's very simple, Kelp. Look at the sucking document and say, this document here is wrong. I have proof. Somebody said this document is wrong. Snowden doesn't say anything. He just points to the document. If you're going to tell me that he said the document's wrong, then show me who said that and when. No, that's why he's going to get arrested someday, because they think the documents are real. Of course, he broke the law. That is not a mystery. He broke the law for us. He sacrificed himself so we would know this. He sacrificed himself. Thank you, Turquoise Sky Moon. Thank you. It's a PowerPoint. Gee, how revealing was that? Ooh, I guess those documents were false. Kelp, rather than speak with nonsense, why just what is this PowerPoint thing you're talking about? I didn't see any PowerPoint. Snowden went too far, though? I still wanted to know that, hey. I don't really care. I wanted to know that. I wanted to know that. Great hair guy. Oh gosh. Some of the comments here, just I don't know. Some of the comments here, it's like one of the things I can. One of the things, who is the protector of the country? Hey, that's what I want to know. If your country is plotting against its citizens, as it does with mass surveillance, who are you supposed to believe? That is what Snowden revealed. That you cannot trust your own government. That's what Snowden revealed. You cannot trust your own government. Kelp says, I'm going to bury my head in the sand because I don't care what the Snowden says and what WikiLeaks says. I'm going to trust my own government. They always do the right thing. Government always does the right thing. According to Kelp, the government always does the right thing. So we don't have a right to question it. We don't need to get evidence of things that they may not be doing that's right, because we need to have the government operate in secrecy with things related to the people. Let me just, open source. Let me just make it clear what Snowden did, okay? Because this is the difference a little bit between what Snowden did and what Assange did with publishing Vault 7, the CIA leak. Okay, Snowden published the NSA leak. WikiLeaks published the CIA leak. Okay, just understand this, hey. I mean, just be careful what you're thinking here. Okay, Snowden says, "Wow, I'm witnessing crime being done by our government against us. I'm witnessing this. The only way I can show it to you people is if I steal the data and show it to you as a whistleblower. I will be committing a crime doing so, but I will reveal to the open world that it's the U.S. citizens, not the foreigners. Now, this is a crime being committed against U.S. citizens, that they're capturing our data and doing mass surveillance in order to counteract or eliminate the Fourth Amendment, which is the right to get a warrant. It's not a crime for the government to circumvent the Fourth Amendment, hey? It's not a crime to circumvent the Fourth Amendment? No, that came later. Yeah, Patriot Act, yes. And so you're saying that you don't know this is being done to you. You don't know how far the Patriot Act has been extended to spy on you, and your answer is, it's okay. You don't know about it, hey? You don't know. This is what a whistleblower does. He revealed something no one could speak about. He revealed something no one ever could speak about. Will put you in jail to speak about it. So he did it. He told us he is going to go to jail someday because of it. And lucky for us, he revealed it. And we're not going to go to jail because he revealed it. He's the one going to go to jail for us. And Kelp says, we don't need to know. This is really what it amounts to. Whistleblowers. You're saying whistleblowers have no purpose. So the purpose of a whistleblower, which is the purpose of WikiLeaks and the purpose of an Edward Snowden, is to reveal abuses by powerful governments. That's what it's for, to reveal abuses by government. And your reaction is, some of you will react saying, well, we don't care that the government abuses us. We don't care that they tell us what to believe. We don't care that they just give us the narrative and we just go with it, whatever it happens to be. Oh yeah, the Russians did that. Yeah, so will Snowden escape jail? Probably not. But I appreciate what he did. Yes, he will, he committed a crime, so if he gets caught, he will go to jail. There's no argument he broke the law. Now, can somebody pardon him? Well, I hope so. But he broke the law, so based on the law, he will go to jail. So, of course, he has to hide in Russia so he doesn't go to jail. And that's really as simple as that. Now, what he did is beneficial for us. For him, it's terrible, but for us, it's beneficial. So I benefit from his information. So some of you don't care that that information is now open knowledge for all of us. If you actually saw what was in there and what their relationship is with the Googles and the Facebooks and all that, and how they extract your information and put into using various programs called Prism and this and that, and how they extract that data, how they take your email, how they take all of your data, every communication, every phone call, everything you do is being captured and stored in Utah. And you're saying, well, we don't really care. 1OG, it's politics. Avostar, Wikipedia. Wikipedia. Shocking guy. He's in he's in the 3-letter agency district. Shocking guy. You always go there. You should drive over there and take him to a tour. But he already works there. He's probably Kelp is likely a shill already from one of those agencies. He's already a shill from those ducking agencies. Peter Sullivan, exactly. Thank you. There's some reasonable people here. I don't think I'm unreasonable. I don't think I'm unreasonable. I believe I have rights. I came from a country without rights. And I said, never again will that happen. Kelp said you should ignore my life experience because the fact that I came from a country without rights is something that that's my problem, not his problem. So he should ignore it. Well, I don't ever want to repeat that. I don't want to live in a country without rights, and I live in a country with rights. I have rights, and I believe in my rights, and I'm a good citizen, and I uphold the law. But I want the government to uphold the law for themselves here. I am not naive, Kelp. You are. Sorry, Kelp. You're extremely naive to the extreme. You're avoid substances that kill brain cells. I think kelp is taking those substances. So it's a very. Oh, come on, kelp. Oh, don't tell me. Okay, go live in the Soviet Union then. Oh, that's too long ago. The Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. Okay, live in Venezuela. Whatever, kelp. You just don't get it. So you want the? Why don't you want AOC as your president then? Turn this into a. Okay, yeah. Kelp wants AOC as president, and will turn socialist like Venezuela. Okay, AOC for president, according to Kelp, because that's what he wants. What is it about Bradley's a traitor, Chelsea? I'm not sure on. That's funny. Simon is here. How are you doing, Simon? How are your surveillance cameras doing in Russia? We shouldn't be restrained by history of other nations. Should that yeah, Kelp, to you, you shouldn't be restricted by history of anything. In fact, Kelp believes you should not read any history because apparently it will never happen. Uh, you know, uh, he doesn't look far back enough. He said, "Well, I can't look back that far enough when this was prior to when we were just a colony of Britain." Oh, you like AOC, but AOC wants to have a socialist country. So I don't want a socialist country. You just told me, Kelp. You just told me that you don't read history. Now you're so fucking inconsistent. That's why you pay attention to history, Kelp, because history repeats itself, which is exactly my point. And you say, well, we're not going to care about anybody else's history because it doesn't pertain to us. Suck you, Kelp. Why don't you convince yourself? You're making your own defense statements. You're contradicting yourself. It's because history repeats itself that you fucking pay attention to history. Oh my gosh. I'm so lost here. I'm so lost here. Pete, I'm a moderate person. I believe in moderate things. So uh no, Kelp, you apparently have no idea of history. You have no idea that you know you apparently don't even look back at even recent times. Like you've right now we're driven by something called the PC culture, right? And you said, I'm not PC. I'm not gonna change you know Bradley Manning's gender to Chelsea Manning. I'm not going to do that because I don't believe in that. That this is Kelp speaking. Uh, and yet he said, well, I wanted to look back in history during the McCarthyist era when they were trying to, uh, identify the left wingers, the ones that are pushing PC today, were the left wingers of the McCarthyist era, and saying, well, that was fine. We should go find them all and deprive them of opportunity and put them on a list, which is part of American history. Just like slavery is part of American history. And Kelp says, oh, we don't want to remember that history because it doesn't pertain. Like, fuck you, Kelp. You make it's like some, you just keep typing. It doesn't matter what I say anyway. You just gonna keep typing. You type very fast. You type very fast. So anyway, this is what is your question, 1OG? What's your opinion about the Palantir IPO? Will you invest? That's a different question. I was born under a socialist dictatorship. I was born under a fascist dictatorship. No, sorry, I was not born into it. I grew up with a fascist dictatorship. and I don't want to repeat that. And because where I grew up, they have the same kind of laws as the U.S., and those same laws can be abused the same way. Yeah, it's Kelp using voice to text technology because he's typing very, very fast. He may be talking to his phone. Philippines, back when it was the Marcos dictatorship. So back then, you say anything. The elections were only one candidate. It's either for him or no vote. You do have to identify yourself when you vote, and if you speak against the government, then you can disappear. If somebody reports you, they became they get a little benefit from the state, and on and on and on, and people disappeared and so forth. It was a very scary time. You couldn't disagree with anything. If you had long hair and the police said, "Stop! I'm going to cut your hair right now," and they would cut your hair in the middle of the street. And no, it's not scary over there. It's not scary now. I mean, this is, it's completely democratic now. Hey, Simon Pickup. Hey guys, I'm reading this book. I talked to you about the singularity and such. I'm reading this book and I'm just so caught up with it. Okay. And the book that I'm reading is called The Robots of Gotham. And it's not Batman. Robots of Gotham. And it's a book where people coexist with humans and smart machines that are acting like people. So, it's kind of like, it's like another race. You can consider robots like another race, and that's what this book's about. Robots of Gotham, and it's like, wow, this book just caught me, and I'm like, it's a long book, and I'm like 65% of it. And it's like, whoa. And in the middle, it's kind of like there's a little hacking in there, a little, controlling robots, how to evade, how to vanish from the grid, all in a robot kind of world. And it's very fascinating. It's like kind of a little bit of what I talk about, but put in the context of like everyday today people with a lot of thrilling action. It's very action-packed. How do you upload my brain to the internet? So anyway, that's very very interesting book, and I recommend it. I'm not finished yet, but I'm like, been losing sleep trying to find out what happens next. I can't put it down. So it's kind of a interesting glimpse into the future. It's kind of a weird world that they're in, and the premise of the book is completely different than what you would expect with robots and people. It's not what you think. This is a world where people coexist with the robots. Put your life on Zuck book. There you go. So, will Palantir control a killer? They could, one OG. You're wondering if Palantir will someday become Skynet. Is that what you're thinking about? And then, so if you think of Palantir as a good investment because they might become Skynet, and you say you want your money in there, that's a different question, because the fact of the matter is, at this moment, they're not making good money. So from an investor point of view, I'm not sure if they're succeeding yet, but they're certainly in that business. I trust the price as little as I trust the government. Oh, Peter Sullivan, you and I are on the same page here. This is what I talk about. Guys, how does this relate to me and what I talk about? My topic is about privacy. I'm an internet privacy evangelist. I talk about how our lives are being invaded by all these parties, from the governments, such as mass surveillance, from corporations like Facebook, Amazon, Google, and so on, and how they invade our privacy, and how this will turn us into a world we never expect. And I want us to not be in that world. My job is to alert you to protect your privacy so we don't end up in this world where we don't want to be in. And nobody talks about what I talk about. Nobody seems to care. People are told what to think about. You're told that the most important problem in the world is global warming, and you're supposed to ignore things like freedom. Okay, and I'm just saying to you that I want to push up front some issues that nobody cares about because I think it affects freedom, which is a short-term issue. And thank you, Justin. And this is what I talk about. This is why this Assange thing bothers me, because of all the conditions of why he's being extradited, and it talks about the connection of why I think that Snowden is a hero. In committing a crime, he did it for us, and he did commit the crime. And unless somebody pardons him, if he gets caught, he will end up in jail. And yet he would have done it for our benefit. So, unfortunately, it's only these other people that make the sacrifices that help us identify where we're being cheated, where somebody's taking advantage of us. So well, that's why we have to put a little bit of power in the people. When I believe in what people decide, and people sometimes change a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. It's the way it is. I don't go crazy when the government shifts a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. As long as you have freedom of speech, it will balance out in the long run. That's what I believe in. When somebody manipulates information, then you can change the narrative. If you don't hear everything about all the issues from the left and the right, you don't get to that middle. Okay? Let's say this is let me see here. Look at the length of my body as a total truth of left and right. And the middle is, the middle ground here is, where people would vote. Okay? If you are going to censor one side, look what happens. Okay, you censor one side. And where's the middle now? If you censor one side, where's the middle? Suddenly, it's over here instead of right in the middle of my face. Okay, back. Let me repeat again. Okay, look at the black zone here. Sorry, it's hard to know which hand. Okay, look at the black zone in the middle of my hands. And that is the stream of ideas on the left, on the right. Okay, and the center opinion is where my face is, right there. That's the center of opinion. Okay, this is the range of thoughts. If everything is uncensored, on a whole, we end up with ideas right around here in the middle. Okay, when you start to censor one side like this, then the zone of ideas is narrower, and the center of that is over here. It's more left of my face. Okay? That's the problem. That's why I like to know everything that I need to know so that I can make a decision about what's going on. For example, the abuse of the Patriot Act is information being withheld from us. So if we know about the abuses of the Patriot Act, if we know the abuses of the FISA Act, we can vote and have a full range of ideas on what's happening. Kelp wants us to hide that. So he said, well, we're going to hide that half, keep it a secret. I don't want it hidden. I want all that shown so that you decide in this range of ideas where the middle is, and the population will vote in the middle. Do you believe in fair justice under the deep state? One OG, if you withhold information, there's no, the electorate will change. who gets elected will be controlled by the ones who control the ideas. What parts of the Patriot Act have been discontinued? There's none. They tried to repeal some of them in the last election. It didn't happen. There's not. Hey, come on, be more informed. No, nothing's been repealed. They just keep adding more. They wanted to repeal the FISA procedure. It did not get voted in. So the Democrats wanted to repeal it. Some Democrats. Not Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein doesn't want to repeal it. The people want it. See, this is the Zuckerberg world we're thinking about. If you are Kelp, and Kelp works for law enforcement, and he wants you to think some other way, all I have to do is hide facts from you, so then you vote away to my thinking. I just have to hide the facts from you. Okay, that's the problem. You're a Marxist, Pete? See, I'm a libertarian. I feel like everyone is entitled to speak. You can be on the left or on the right. I welcome you. This is not a left or right issue. I just want truth. I want truth to come out. This is why I value WikiLeaks, though I may or may not like Assange himself personally. I value a WikiLeaks because it hasn't been shown to show any fake documents. They've only shown real documents. So I value WikiLeaks because I think it's healthy for democracies to have information, more information rather than less information. This is what I believe in. This is what I believe in. And then people will decide from the left or from the right. Like I said, if you have all range of ideas in this black zone here, people will vote, and typically they'll vote in the middle of that. And that middle is controlled by the wide range of opinion. Well, deep state cannot present evidence because the problem with deep state is that the evidence is not acceptable in court. I trust that all information should be revealed because I trust the people as a collective. Kelp doesn't trust people as a collective. I trust the people as a collective. I do. I don't trust individual leaders of government. I trust the people as a collective, as long as you give them information. When you start controlling people with your agenda and you're not giving them all the information and you push a certain narrative and it's not balanced, it bothers me. I want the information to be balanced and truthful. And if you're going to be untruthful, then let other untruths come out and let's balance it out. Okay? But, have to give information and education. Well, it's not part of it. It's one thing. You're saying you give out information and no discussion occurs? Of course, when you release information, people discuss it and argue, and you get to some middle ground. Okay? When you start banning books, you know what happens. You turn back in the 80s when they start banning books, and then people start turning into extreme right-wing people because they said we ban certain books, and the way to do it is to expose all books, and we decide as a people, and often we will decide for good in a democracy. Right wing plus truth tend to equal libertarian. Left wing plus truth tends to equal Green Party. I don't know if that's true, Pete, but I'm taking the label from Alan Dershowitz, a Democrat, when he calls himself a civil libertarian. I didn't know what I called myself, but when he was espousing his beliefs, I said, yeah, that's what I stand for. He called himself a civil libertarian. He believes in people, populist kind of, thinking about where you think the power resides. I believe the power is in the people. I believe the Constitution means that the power is in the people. Kelp thinks that the Constitution is just a fake framework, that the government is actually whoever, the Illuminati puts out there. Okay, so Kelp believes in that the Illuminati should control the world. I believe the people should control the world. Okay, so that's a difference. Oh, you mean no? Not correct. Hey, that is not correct. That is not correct. You all vote based on information you know. If somebody withholds information from you, you are being tricked to the vote. Okay? Illuminati is nonsense. Just get the gist of it, Kelp. Hey, just understand what I'm trying to say. If you censor society, the voters do not get the full information. If you censor the press, if the press is all one-sided, if all of these things that restrict information, if Facebook controls all the information, if Google controls all the information, you restrict the flow of data, and when you do so, then you actually change the information given to the people, in which case you can manipulate the vote. And it's not Russian. Okay? It could be thought manipulating your vote. Okay, Donnie, let me just see if I understand the question. Can't you tell me the meaning of life and security? Why don't you talk to your priest about that, Donnie? So, I've met many Russians, and I've met many Russians even here on Periscope, and they got demonized during the election, and they're pretty normal people, from what I can see. Putin aside, the average Russian is a pretty normal person. Yeah, it's not like a question for the confessional. Yeah. 43. Yeah, 43. I was trying to remember if I got the number wrong. But why did I forget the number? Ever listen? No. I don't know who that is. Hey. So anyway, this is all jokes aside. Russia does get awfully demonized, which is what Putin wants. So why do you keep electing these people we then turn around and hate? I didn't elect them, Kelp. You all seem to misunderstand. You all seem to misunderstand that what you vote for is based on information you know. If somebody curtails information, then you know. If somebody gives you a false story and you believe it, then if somebody's more convincing than somebody else, then you shift the vote. This is not Russians doing it. This is whoever. Okay, anyone can shift the vote. The Illuminati can shift the vote. Anyone can shift and I mean that in a, farcical kind of a way. I am not Alex Jones. Okay, Alex Jones believes in interdimensional aliens setting the agenda. Okay, so forgetting about interdimensional aliens and Illuminati, the point is that if somebody controls the information, you can control the vote. Therefore, it is not a big thing to guess that if Facebook controls what you see in your timeline, then that can control the vote. If Twitter, Facebook, and Google, which is the source of most information in the world, restricts what they show on their platforms, then that is the view of the world that you will see, and therefore you will vote based on that. And that's the danger, folks, of censorship. That's the danger of censorship, because once you control that, you change the dimension of vote. And you don't tell me, well, we all vote. No. You vote based on what you know. Therefore, to manipulate a vote, you change what you know. Okay? And it's a global thing. It's not a Russian thing. It's a global thing. You say, well, who controls the information? Do the Russians control the information? No. The information is controlled by American media, by the American companies, Google, Facebook, Twitter. That's for you to decide. Hey, I don't comment on politics. I don't comment on politics. So, which question did you relate to there, 10G? Which question? What was it? Your question? Oh, it's a group in Russia. So if I put you in a cage and told you, as you know, if you some of you don't have any feeling of how this can happen. So I'm going to tell you because I've experienced it firsthand. This is not theoretical to me. Okay, when I was young, I lived in a dictatorship, as I told you, and the press was controlled by the government. The only thing you heard in the news was what was allowed to be given by the government. Okay, all the reporters were approved by the government. All the news had to go through a government censor that approves everything that was shown on TV, radio, everything. Everything. 100% of the news was controlled by government. Okay, it was completely 1984. Now, Kelp will say, oh, we don't really care about that. Zuck you. Okay, the point is, this happened to me. And when you don't know that if you control the population by controlling the information, you can silence the population. You can cause people to not complain because they don't know. What they don't know, they don't have any idea. No, the Philippines, Donnie, back during the Marcos dictatorship. No, Kelp, no Kelp. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. You're talk like a historian, not like some of your statements are completely idiotic. Really. Trump has called for government news media, and would you like that? Hell no. No. But I want uncensored data. I don't want social media to censor either. I want uncensored information. Yes, before USA came? What are you talking about, Donnie? Are we the USA came in 1898. I wasn't born in 1898. Save us with your gun. Hello, Sadie. Rudy. Periscope had censored no nudies? Well, Twitter has nudies. Then why are you against imperialism? All nations are the same. Oh, that's like some Kelp, you would fail history. I already know. Did you go to college, Kelp? You would fail history. Since you're in law enforcement, then you'd fail history. So anyway, this is it's crazy situation. Okay, anyway, I just had to speak out here. I seldom get to talk about these topics. Whatever, Kelp. You just told me history repeats itself, but you're saying, well, we don't really care about any other history that it happened with Hitler's time because that's not our history. So we'll never have a Hitler. So we can't study that. Okay, got it. Unfiltered and uncensored content. Yes, Donnie, that's what I believe in. Because as they say, what does they say? Sunshine. What is that? What is the expression that the Twitter lady said? The sun bleaches. The sun bleaches something. full frontal nudity. Sunshine disinfects. There you go. Something like that. Yes, I know. I know, Peter. I know. It's like you will say something, then contradict it in the next sentence. Your Gramps was a World War II hero, and I'm proud of that. Well, my Gramps died in World War II as a hero as well. Okay. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. That's what it is. Okay. So, anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. This we will talk about completely different topic. If Periscope was uncensored, to be fair, I wouldn't be. If for us uncensored, to be fair, I wouldn't be watching you. Yeah, you would be watching Open Bob's, Simon. But then why are you following me on Twitter? You could be watching all the not safe for work things on Twitter. There's a ton of them, right? There's a ton of them on Twitter, not safe for work. So it's very easy to find them. Mammals will always fight. On July 4, 1946, Donnie, we're talking about during the Marcos era. So the martial law was declared in the Philippines in 1972. From 1972 to the 80s, the Philippines was run by Marcos. Okay, so when was that? Was that till 86 or something? Can't remember now. So from 72 to 86 or so, it was run by Marcos as a dictatorship. Okay? And Imelda Marcos with her shoes, she's still there. She's still a senator. She's never been jailed for her crimes. And she's still rich as heck. Okay? I'm happy you ditched your silly veggies. Well, look at my viewer count going down because I don't have veggies, 1OG. That's what happens without the veggies. Yeah, Imelda shoes. Yes. So that's yes. So that's that was a country where martial law was declared. By the way, martial law can be declared by Trump. So this is the feature of every democracy. They can declare martial law and suspend your rights. That's what he did. He said we're being he likely did a false flag, because there were a lot of riots in the city and explosions and things going on, and maybe it was a false flag. And then he used that as an excuse to do martial law and said, okay, we're gonna because there's a lot of communists in here, we're gonna have a false flag. So that's something that they can do here as well. It's very easy. They can say the Antifa is blowing up buildings, so we're gonna do Trump can suspend the constitutional rights and say declare martial law, put curfew in, and there you go. I mean, you have no idea what that's like. I lived in curfew and censored news and all this. You do not want that. You do not want that. You do not want that. So, well, obviously they're not going to have proof, Kelp. That's why they do that. So you don't know. So I'd rather not know if it's a false flag. So yes, that is oppression, Admiral Akbar, and I don't want to ever live like that again. That's why when I came to this country and then I saw things happening recently, and I said, "Don't tell me we're going back to this. No way." Since everything was happening since 2012 or so, I started to say, what's going on with all these social media things? And it's turning into a kind of world that I did not want to happen. And that's why I fight for this, because I understand with my own life history that it's not something I want to happen. So I see the signs because of my knowledge in tech. I see all the signs happening. And I say, what the zuck is happening here? 1987. That's after the revolution. Soul Traveler. I support whoever the president is. Yes. I support the presidency. That is clear. It's not arrogance for you to come here and tell us how to progress. It's arrogance for you, Kelp. You're the most arrogant one here because you've already made so many statements that are just so arrogant. Like you know, like nobody else's information is useful other than your own. Do you vote? Oh yeah, in the United States of America? Suck yes. Okay? Suck yes. And I'm going to tell you this. I did not ever vote for Maxine Waters. Okay? I did not ever. I was in Maxine Waters' district at one point. I did not ever vote for Maxine Waters. Okay? I just want to make that clear. If there's any doubt, okay, did not vote for Maxine Waters. So, I do not like Maxine Waters. Neither did you. But you're not in my district, so you can't vote for Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters was my rep, yes. Was. My current rep is Ted Lieu. Big anti-Trumper Ted Lieu. That is my current representative. How strong is Canada? Everyone be grateful you can vote and exercise response. I vote. God darn. I push to vote. I will vote. I always vote. And I'm not going to answer that hate. Not going to answer that. But I'm going to tell you straight on, I did not vote for Maxine Waters. I know Ted, so I know Ted Lieu. I've dealt with Ted Lieu. My dad always says, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Yeah, sure. That's a good. Ted is a privacy guy. He lives on Twitch. He lives on Twitter. Ted Lieu lives on Twitter. I don't know if Ted is a privacy guy, but he doesn't like Trump. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Yeah, he doesn't like Trump. That's vote with me. You're in your. All I can tell you is I live here in this blue state, and I went into a voting booth in California, and all I can tell you is that I did not see any Russians around me. Yeah, I didn't see any Russians around me. I can guarantee you there were no Russians that told me how to vote. I don't know, Simon. I don't know what the brand is. I don't know what the brand is. We use punch cards. It's punch card technique. The Russians were in the voting machines. I don't know. They're like pushing there were Russians that affected the vote. I said, didn't see any Russians around me. Blue state, can it turn any redder? Don't know. I mean, where I live, that's rather unlikely. I live in LA. Gotta go. I've not a scope where they love to abuse me there. I think you voted. Well, I voted. Yes, I always vote. I always vote. So voting is never the question. I will always vote. Now, who I vote for, that's up to me to decide. Okay, I use the bubbles in the Indiana polls. My goodness, I'm overstayed my welcome here. I've stayed a little longer than I intended. And I voted in 2 countries legally. Yep, not even turned purple. Maybe you voted for Maxine Waters and didn't know it. So anyway, guys, that there's not that many people here on YouTube, but do you participate in IPO? I don't have any money for IPOs right now. 1OG, my investment company takes care of all that, so I don't manage my investment. Somebody manages for me. So hopefully it's managed well, and I just look at the numbers and see if it's growing. I don't individually manage. So apparently I may own Facebook and Google and all that too. I have no idea, to be honest with you. It depends on what funds there are. Sorry, I tried to watch on YouTube, but the interactive is so much better. But Simon, I need the hours on YouTube, and I actually have some organic people that come only from YouTube, so they need the interaction. So anyway, uh, uh, again to repeat, if you're not to repeat, I'm not making any money. One OG, I'm making zero money. Again to repeat, I have a suspension on my Twitter account. My Twitter account, Rob Braxman Tech, is currently suspended. So please follow me on my other Twitter account, which is BraxMe. So please follow my other Twitter account, Brax_me, and so that you don't lose contact with me. Also, I have a YouTube account. Oh, suspended. How do we object? We'll find out tomorrow. I'm just gonna wait for it to settle down, and it's just slow. Okay, BraxMe. Subscribe to me on YouTube as well. But your stock manager, what's the ROI? Oh gosh, 1OG. The longer you stay, quicker to reach watch hours. Yes, but I wish there were double the people on YouTube. They're like flocking back to Periscope here, which is surprising. So here we are with most of you on Periscope. Nice topic. Okay, open source. That's why BrackMe followed me. Yeah, Simon, I followed you because I was looking for the people I already know and trying to follow you so that I don't lose you. So if you got a follow from BraxMe, just follow back if you care. And so then we can all keep in touch if I lose an account in the future. I'm not going to lose the Rob Braxman Tech account, but you never know. They might suspend me for some other reason. You never know anything. You never like to talk money. So anyway, the other thing that I'm saying is I'm trying to reach 4,000 hours on Periscope and on YouTube, and BraxMe, you're already following me on that TR Fun Guy. You're all set. So I'm trying to get to the next stage on YouTube, which is the watch hours of 4K, and I'm probably gonna reach that sometime tomorrow. So if I'm not already reaching it tonight, so if you would please remember to watch me on YouTube and watch the videos, and also to subscribe to my account on YouTube. And because there's many videos here that you're not going to see here. Okay, so my live broadcasts don't include the videos, and there are many important videos that you're missing if you're not checking out my account. You said about money. I will order a Tor router from you. Yes, 1OG, do so. Not a Tor router now. I have VPN routers that can switch to Tor. Yeah, so VPN routers. It's VPN routers can switch to Tor. So watch the video that explains what it is on YouTube. It's called Privacy Gadgets. So watch that video, and then you'll see it. And then you can buy that VPN router, and then you have a subscription on the VPN, and it will give you a much different experience than just having just a VPN by itself. Okay? And you basically don't have to think about it. You're always on a VPN, which is fantastic. Okay? So thank you guys, and I'll see you. This is shocking. Oh, shocking is who Danny who. Okay. Do live broadcast count in the hours. Do a live broadcast count. How do you upgrade my Tor router? TR Fun Guy, for those with an existing Tor router, you can upgrade the software for $54.95. It's in my store. You upgrade you're already on Bytes VPN. You just need the chip, which is a new software, and you can upgrade your existing Raspberry Pi 3B with the new software. If you want a B plus, that is completely new software on a different device. It's twice as fast. Okay, so if you want that someday, then you can get that separately. I actually have 2 Raspberry Pis running as a router in my house, so I have multiple. So you don't need to waste those old Tor routers. You can convert them to VPN routers and so on. So I have 2. I have 1 in each part of the house. Okay, so yes, buy those from me on my store on brax.me. Okay, guys, place your order soon, and it's very easy. You just change the chip, and you're up and running. Okay, just change the chip. Simon, pick up. You need to just change the chip. I don't want the bytes. I want the router. Yeah, you can get the router without the bytes VPN. What are you going to do with a router without a VPN? You need a VPN of some sort. Okay, you need a VPN. You can't just have a router without the VPN. Well, you can. It can function as a normal router. But, I mean, the whole point is to use it as a VPN. Okay, 10G. So, how's your Bitcoin doing, 10G? Okay, so, what do you use for Bytes VPN hardware? Obviously, big multi-core servers. What is that question for, Donnie? Big multi-core servers running gigabit internet access and large CPUs and so on, running I'm into stocks only, running Ubuntu servers. That's what I use for the VPN. They're all running OpenVPN. All VPN companies use the same software, so don't be fooled by that. All VPN companies use the exact same software, which is OpenVPN. So there's actually no difference from one company to the next when it comes to that. So the difference are often in terms of policies and implementations, not in terms of what the software is. We all use the same software. OpenVPN. There's only one. Okay, it's open source. That's what we use it. Okay, no cheap stuff, and it's large prepaid terabytes of Can I? Why can't I only have Tor? You can 10G. Yes, you can. Tor router only. Yeah, you can. The same device, you can switch it to Tor or VPN. Yes, that's what you mean. Yes, if you want to only use it for Tor, yes, you can do so. So 10G, yes, you can use it only for Tor. Don't use a VPN mode if you don't have a subscription. So the Tor mode is free. So you can use that. Okay? So hopefully that answers everything, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so catch me on rob.brax.me. That's where my store is. Okay, boys and girls, good night. Yeah, it's on bytesvpn.com. And there's a video on it showing you how it works. Okay? On YouTube. There's a video. You can actually see the unit. Go look at the actual unit, see how it actually works. It's on the video. Didn't know about the VPN mode. Yes, the new version goes into VPN mode, Tor mode, or Open Router, and you can choose how it functions. The old software only worked in one mode, which was Tor. So the new one you can choose VPN, Tor, or Open. So it's a multifunctional device. If you say, well, I don't have a VPN anymore, can I just use it like a normal router? Yes. Can use it as a Tor router? Yes. Can use it as a VPN router? Yes. The same device. Okay? Good night. Bye-bye.